All right, let's get into this. I felt so called to do a reading, so called to the table. And so here we are to figure out why. And the main message we'll be digging deeper into is about stepping into your power, but in a way that's real and in a way that's whole, not just shiny on the outside. So let's start with the Queen of Wands. The Queen of Wands here looks like she is summoning the unseen in some way. She is tapping into this calling, this Earth's heart. And what I'm really noticing here with these three main cards is they all have an orb behind them: the sun, the earth, and the moon. This feels like a portal of some way. These orbs, they're almost like you're standing at a doorway and something of a portal needs to close before you can embrace the unknown of a new portal coming through. And it feels to me like a drum beat or like a heartbeat that this queen can hear. She's picking up on this message of completion, this message of something mysterious or something hidden that is trying to come out from somewhere deep, deep within the heart. The portal is the main theme I'm getting with these cards. So I think this reading is really going to uncover what this portal is about and how you're stepping from one portal that's maybe more solid, more tangible, more earth-like, more physical, more apparent, into another portal that is more ethereal and cerebral. Whatever this portal represents, this queen feels it. And she feels it, like I said, as a drum beat, as a heartbeat coming from somewhere deep inside. She's telling me that it's time to really heed this call. She's listening, her ears are perking up, she's sensing it. And fear not, you've got what it takes. I mean, she's telling me you've got the charisma, you've got dynamic creativity and enthusiasm, and you've got the reach to really bring something full circle, as the world is implying. But while a major cycle needs to close, there is still mystery. There's illusions or hidden layers about what is ending or achievement, what this achievement really means. The hidden layers to be revealed may be what's behind the despicable face here, or otherwise a mask of some sort. Those parts you've kept hidden, where the queen encourages you to be accepting of your whole self and not just what's perfect about you, that's shiny and glittery and fabulous on the outside. And then with the moon joining the party here, intuition and magnetism, they may be strong, but you do need to be mindful of projection or confusion around other people's motives. I don't think you're going to see the whole picture. This is kind of like one of those figure it out as you go missions, and your inner guidance will require a very strong discernment on your part and you being brave to walk this ambiguous kind of dark path in front of you in the dark without knowing anything firm or solid or for sure, like the earth energy would kind of represent here. Like this is more like you've got a roadmap, you've got a plan, you know where you're going. Well, that cycle is ending. Now you need to lean into your intuition and just kind of sensing your way through the shadows. And sometimes, the moon here is telling you that we cannot know the path ahead until after we've started walking it. So one thing I feel for sure is that you won't be getting any guidebook, any roadmap ahead of time on this new phase of your journey for whatever is calling you deep from the earth's heart. The earth's heart is about something deep within you, blooming into something that needs tending. It's awakening deep in your center, and it really is needing your attention here. And I think with her eyes closed, it tells me you've kind of been ignoring it, but now it's like impossible to ignore. It's really important to know that this special something, quote unquote, that's blooming really needs to be rooted in love and in service to others, or a connection as well. And this is echoed with the despicable face showing up here too, because despicable face tells me what you think is unacceptable or shameful and should be kept hidden about yourself may actually be the missing fuel for this transformation. This card also screams to me, we've got some fear of failure issues. You've been too scared to start whatever this pulse is, to really lean into what's hidden behind the mask, for a fear of making a mess. And this is a reminder to you that mess is a crucial part of the alchemy that's underway here. It's unavoidable. So you really should be embracing it and not running from it. And you should be trying anyways. Even if you're scared of making a mess, try anyways, because knowing fully it could get real messy, but also knowing fully that it's a necessary part of this alchemical process, I think is what's really going to keep you fueled for the transformation. The card here, and these are notes from the book. I was doing that with all of these cards kind of as I pulled them, and I stopped like halfway through. So only some of them have notes, some of them don't. The key words on this card are what's hidden, unaccepted, and shamed. So again, not the glitz and glams that normally you would see on the shiny outside. This says something below the surface wants to be witnessed, to be transformed. Once revealed, it's not despicable, it's actually human, which is interesting. The acceptance is what leads to enlightenment here. Those hard to present parts of yourself, those hidden parts you think are shameful and unacceptable, will actually be your fuel and your tools that help propel you. And that could be part of what the energy of this moon is speaking about here, is those hidden parts. There needs to be a closure in hiding those and starting to reveal them, because they're actually really going to strengthen your Queen of Wands energy and whatever this message on the table wants to tell you. So overall, these alchemy cards with the Queen of Wands, the World, the Moon, they suggest that your power and visibility, they aren't just about shifting or shining outward. They come from integrating those hidden parts with tenderness and really bringing about the parts you usually hide. Tenderness and acceptance together are what makes the cycle whole and brings the World card's portal to full circle so that you can step into this new phase. Now let's talk about what's behind the scenes of this whole message. What you aren't aware of, but is something really important to know or be aware of in this reading, is the Hermit and then the Blue Temple. Behind the scenes, the Hermit says that there is deeper inner guidance that is quietly steering all of this. So even if things around you look external, things like success, recognition, the mystery, the real work is actually happening within. It's happening in your own heart and behind the mask. Overall, based on theme cards, I'd say this reading will reveal how and why you're stepping into a powerful, visible phase, but the outcome is still foggy. So trust that the inner hermit is running the show behind the curtains, because you have an inner guide assisting you and bringing you forward. But then we have a mask, what you present to the world versus what you keep hidden, that is kind of interfering in this. And that's where your discernment becomes really key. And then we mix in the Blue Temple. And this alchemy card really deepens the Hermit. What's happening behind the curtain isn't just introspective. It's a spiritual initiation into mystery and imagination. This isn't about logic. This isn't about using your big brain, figuring it out, using all reason and essentially thought processes to work through this. This is about allowing yourself to sit in the unknown and to feel it rather than solve it. Behind the scenes, you're being trained to trust that inner sight, and you're also being trained to open up to these subtler currents that are guiding you. All in all, I would say the final summary takeaway here is that what's blooming right now comes from the mix of dropping into your heart energy and doing some shadow work. The very paths that you've hidden are what will fuel your confidence and your visibility. And the cycle you're stepping into isn't about perfection, it's about wholeness. And behind the scenes, you're being drawn into the deeper mystery. Learning to trust inner vision over logic, learning to feel confident and assured of the direction you're going, even if you can't see a foot in front of you. I mean, this is alchemy. Love and shadow and mystery kind of shaping the next phase here. So I'm really interested to dig in and see what this is really all about. What does this message deal with? Let's hatch this one layer at a time and get to the bottom of why this is so important. Why is this portal necessary? We have the Hierophant. Just looking at the card's imagery, this feels like you are about to level up into something different that is, again, transitioning you from a state of worldly matters to somehow something more celestial, more cerebral, or I mean less cerebral, more intuitive, more of the heart. There's something like bright and shiny for you up here, but it's just that courage to step up the stairs and to actually pay attention. I see he's not paying attention to the stairs yet, and I think that's where you're getting kind of called to the carpet on this. Is like you've been ignoring it a bit much, having a great time, or not having a great time, but this guy looks to be enjoying his time. And there's a need to reshift your focus and seek a higher guidance, I want to say, or a higher path. This has nothing to do with you needing to rest, to heal, to take more time. You've definitely rested enough. The Three of Cups. There is an important collaboration here on the table, or coming together with a community of some sort that's really going to require you to navigate your way through it intuitively with discernment. Again, heeding warnings of other people's motives. Be aware of that. But trusting the inner guide within you and the heart pulse to kind of give you the breadcrumbs you need to follow this next phase, because it feels to me like the ground's going to be a bit like quicksand. As soon as you feel like you have firm grounding and firm step, things will shift. And so in order to really stay true on this shifting environment and this path, this is all going to be about listening to your inner guidance and stepping into that confidence and that visibility and completion with allowing the mystery to linger. And this comes through in being very accepting and open with those hidden parts of yourself talked about in the Despicable Mask. Your advice is to emotionally walk away from something. This could be isolation, walking away from feeling like you have to do something on your own. There's clearly this message of teamwork needed in some way or another. And what this is good for, where this is leading, is the Ace of Wands. So there's a new potential creative or spiritual opportunity for you. This could be a business opportunity of some sort. Some kind of a new idea lights you up. And this is where the Hermit and the Blue Temple really come into play with this card, I feel like, because the Blue Temple is a lot about the inner eye, the inner vision that kind of opens you up, and you become willing to see something in a new way, something that you haven't thought of before or even considered. The Blue Temple, the reason it correlates with the Hermit so well is because it really reflects the mood and the tempo of your inner eye. And this looks like what this needs to close out. There's things or distractions in your way that are kind of restricting you or preventing you from fully opening your eyes to this portal that the moon is trying to lead you, because you're kind of stuck in like earthly matters in some sort, instead of really coming forward to see like you already have the answer or the idea. It's just about removing those blockages and walking away from them in order to actually open that eye and see them clearly. Beneath the surface, we're looking at the Eight of Cups, something glowing from the heart. So we have the Earth's heart, and then we have the blue temple here just represented alone in these cards. Perhaps it's the mask that needs to be walked away from. But something that will spark your spirituality, your reliance on your intuition. Maybe it's a new connection with your inner guides that's kind of making things a bit more clear for you, or deepening a connection with your inner guides that's helping lead you in this kind of trying time. I mean, what I noticed here too, none of these cards do these people have their eyes open. They're all closed. They're all going based on inner guidance or inner intuition, inner knowing. So clarify this Hierophant is what this deals with. I'll take a couple cards on this one. King of Swords in reverse. The Hierophant is back. I love it when the same card clarifies itself again, because it's like, it tells me I meant what I said, bitch. Like there's nothing more to see about it. And then we have the Two of Cups in reverse, and the King of Cups is on the bottom. Okay, so in combination, this is dealing with structure. It's dealing with traditions, guidance, or learning, things that maybe you have been taught long ago that you're still kind of living out. This could be other people's rules, societal rules, rules of a business, rules to live life by that you've somehow absorbed from society or some type of authority figures before. The King of Swords reversed says that you've been experiencing, or maybe you're the one who has been misusing authority or using too much rigid thinking or distorted logic around these structures of the Hierophant. And the Hierophant showing up again really just kind of doubles down. Like this is about belief systems, institutions, or even spiritual lessons. The Two of Cups in reverse is saying the message is dealing with like a disconnection or imbalance in relationships because of these structures or expectations. And with King of Cups being the bottom of the deck here, emotional maturity and balance are the hidden key. This is what steadies the whole situation. So in short, this message is dealing with how commitments, traditions, or the way things are supposed to be are clashing with your relationships. And the lesson is to move out of rigid control into kind of emotional wisdom instead. So let's clarify this, what it doesn't deal with. Four of Swords. Mostly I feel like this isn't about you just standing by and waiting for shit to resolve itself. You can't tap out of this for some reason. You have to be kind of in the midst of this, or you're the source of this, and that's why it's important to know that this isn't something you could do on the sidelines. But we'll dig into the clarifications and see if it comes through any different. So we've got Nine of Pentacles, the Magician in reverse, and then the Seven of Pentacles. Bottom of the deck, we got the Six of Swords. With the Nine of Pentacles clarifying this Four of Swords, it's not just about standing alone in independence or self-sufficiency. It's also not about a lack of power or feeling blocked from creating, and it's not about sitting back and waiting forever for results. With the Six of Swords at the bottom of the deck, it's saying that this is simply about moving on quietly and leaving things behind. So really, this isn't about passivity or detachment or avoidance. The message here is active, engaged, and it is calling you for real transformation, not escape, avoidance, or delay. All right, let's look at our Three of Cups here and really narrow down what this message is about. What is the message here? Dealing with these traditions and rules and belief systems that are kind of blocking you from further development. I'll get one more card. Five of Wands reversed. Okay, so we've got Ten of Pentacles, the Hermit, and the Five of Wands reversed. The Knight of Wands is at the bottom of the deck. With the Three of Cups, again, we're looking at community, connection, support, and clarifying it with the Ten of Pentacles. We're seeking something with long-term stability and shared legacy. And then the Hermit is saying, wisdom from reflection, inner guidance. We're kind of connecting this back to here. And I think that's where your long-term stability and shared legacy is really going to come from, is through your connection with your inner guide. The Five of Wands reverse says that there's a need here to resolve conflict and move out of a competition mindset. Everything here is about you stepping forward for collaboration, not trying to compete with other people or win on top. And bottom of the deck, Knight of Wands here is saying like there's forward momentum, passion, and courage coming to act. So the real message is about finding strength in community and legacy, being guided by inner wisdom, with conflict resolution kind of leading to fresh, bold movements forward. I want to see where we should be collaborating. Is this with people? I'm kind of getting the idea that the collaboration comes from you a lot of times, like, not a lot of times, but mostly collaborating with this heart pulse and this mask. The pulse and the mask are very close together in this relationship, and they connect and come through the Hermit. And maybe that's kind of what you've been trying to ignore, is like this pulse and facing this mask, or exposing the parts you've hidden behind the mask. But I think your long-term stability and your ability to kind of resolve conflicts around you with other people in your community or friends or connections will come from you actually embracing your wholeness. Give me more on the meaning of this Three of Cups. What is this collaboration with? So we've got the Hangman, Ten of Swords, and then kind of King of Pentacles in reverse, King of Swords in the reverse on the bottom here. Okay, yeah, so this is kind of reaffirming what I was saying. This Three of Cups here isn't about external people or community. It's about collaborating with your own inner ecosystem. The blossoming heart, the hidden shadow self. The celebration comes from showing up whole, not fragmented. With the King of Pentacles in reverse, this is certainly pointing to an aspect of inner work around control and security and your self-worth, not leaning on outside structures or authority. And then the King of Swords in reverse is reinforcing that distorted logic or rigid external authority isn't the answer here. It's actually been betraying you. It's been causing kind of a stagnant perspective that the divine needs you to alter so that you can actually really answer the call. And it's I keep getting like a drum beat, almost like the Jumanji movie, where the game itself is pulsing, and all the people in the movie who are playing Jumanji can hear this drumming, and they're almost drawn to it or called to it. And I think you're starting to hear that too. But now it's removing the barriers and the blockages that are preventing you from really opening the game and really participating in the game that need to be focused on and you need to walk away from. Okay, so Eight of Cups. Let's clarify the advice. Ten of Wands in reverse. Yeah, you've got to leave behind. There's certain heavy burdens, energetic burdens that have been really bogging you down. Page of Pentacles in reverse, and then Eight of Pentacles. You got a lot of pentacles in here for an emotional walk away. Queen of Pentacles reversed on the bottom, and then we've got Eight of Cups, just kind of bringing this full circle. So you're definitely in for a big emotional release here and walking away from what is emotionally not serving you. dropping burdens that you've been carrying alone for probably a long time, and not chasing every small opportunity or distraction, because not everything is really worth your energy. So you got to really be discerning on what's worth the investment and what's not. Instead, you need to focus on what truly matters here and the real work required for the steady growth. With the Queen of Pentacles in reverse, she is warning me against neglecting self-care, or especially overgiving to others. She can be definitely detrimental to herself, and by trying to nurture others too much, that she just completely forgets about her own needs. So keep yourself nourished. Definitely keep yourself grounded as you walk away. It'll be really important in this advice, because it's to let go of old weight and to really stop scattering your energy. It's really time to commit to work that truly builds without abandoning your own care in the process. And where is this leading with the Ace of Wands? So we have Judgment, Eight of Swords in reverse, the Emperor in reverse. I want one more. It comes after the Emperor, and the Four of Swords. The Moon in reverse on the bottom, the Tower, and the Ten of Cups. Oh, interesting. Okay, so this new spark, this kind of fresh creative fire that's you're trying to be led to here in passionate beginning, comes through, or comes with an awakening and a sense of really answering a bigger calling. There's liberation from old restrictions about this, breaking these old mental traps and old patterns and belief systems, especially around releasing rigid control or rewriting authority on your own terms. The Four of Swords ending this tells me that rest, recovery, and integration before forward action is going to be really important as you kind of integrate everything and heal and move on from, the old fears, the old things that held you back, whether that be yourself or some form of authority that's, I don't know, been dominating over you, been domineering, been kind of shitting on your energy in a way. The Moon, the Tower, the Ten of Cups, what a beautiful combination. In fact, I'm going to keep these out for this, because this is pretty important. And then you have the Knight of Cups even below that. I didn't see that yet. But, really illusions, they're going to start falling apart here. And truth kind of will shake the foundation, but it definitely clears some path for you that is one of authentic joy and one of emotional fulfillment, and one that taps into this Earth's heart energy. The Knight of Cups is basically the Earth's heart in the alchemical deck. So this path is really leading to freedom and renewal and a new spark of purpose, but it comes through dismantling kind of the false authorities and the illusions first. So the joy that you build really rests on truth and authenticity, and whatever you've been too shameful to bring forward to the surface, or whatever you've been fearing to start. So again, despicable face is not just about a mask. It's also about like hiding behind something because you're afraid to make it messy. You're afraid to F it up and then, possibly be seen as despicable because it just didn't go perfectly the same way. You've got to can the perfectionism and embrace the messiness, because it's a very normal human process in any new project, in any new endeavor that you achieve or try to build, whether it's a business or even just a creative drawing. There's always like this really shitty, messy phase. It reminds me of doing art. Every artist gets to a point in their drawing, their painting, and what they're building where they're like, this is not working out at all. This is ugly AF and it's a huge mess. I just want to scrap it. And what I've learned again and again doing my own drawings and art is that if you can just push past that phase, the ugly phase as it's called, you can even search it up. I think there's like YouTube videos on it and stuff. But if you can push past that ugly phase and continue to work towards your vision, it will suddenly start coming together again. It's just accepting the messy phase and not letting it kind of get into your head, poke all these needles in your skull, because you're already kind of letting that inner perfectionist come out and be a real bitch to you and tell you it's not good enough. And then you give up because you fear of what it will look like on the outside to other people. All right, let's clarify this Ace of Cups, and then we'll get some guidance cards to kind of close this out a bit. Ace of Cups in reverse. Knight of Swords in reverse. Five of Cups in reverse. Bottom of the deck, we have the Nine of Wands in reverse. That Six of Swords is back again. I feel like with the Ace of Cups showing up as the first clarifying card for the main energy of the Ace of Cups, it's showing up in reverse. And then you've got the Moon. Yeah, there's this hidden new emotional renewal of the heart happening or trying to happen for you. That's why this Earth's heart is pulsing to you. That's why Jumanji is beating its drums for you to join in the game. And it's happening because there were blocked or delayed emotional expressions before. And the self-love is really needed there before it can overflow outward. It's almost like you had maybe a false emotional start in the past, and it's kind of hindered your ability to feel confident in what you have to offer. It might be the reason the Ace of Cups in reverse might be the stemming like event that made you hide those parts of yourself or make you fear making things messy to begin with, because you might have given it a shot. And then it just kind of fell in a mess, and it puts you in a perpetual state of like grief and like kind of wanting to hide behind the scenes after that. The Knight of Swords in reverse is also cautioning against rushing or forcing the process. So allow it to unfold as it does, because you're slowly peeling off layers of grief or regret or things that you feel like you missed opportunities on in the past. This is really a time for you to heal this old grief, to shift out of loss into renewal with the Ace of Cups. And then bottom of the deck clarifiers, we have kind of this essence of letting your guard down, softening your defenses, and simply moving into calmer emotional waters. What you don't see happening, but rest assured that it is a quiet emotional reset for you. So grief being released, walls softening, and a new flow of love is really trying to come through. Just remember, it can't be rushed. It has to be allowed. You have to be open to accept it. All right, let's get some clarifying, or not clarifying. We're going to get some oracle cards. And since it feels like you're between worlds here, you're between portals, I'm going to use the Between Worlds Oracle for some final words of wisdom and advice from the divine and supporting you during this transition. I mean, it feels like a lot of this is about you kind of coming to terms with maybe the parts of yourself that you thought weren't great, and you coming to terms with your courage to push through anyways, even though it's not clear, things may get messy. It's like, just anticipate the worst, but know that it's part of the process, and it's part of what's going to make you great in whatever you're coming through. All right, your card is Resolve. Bottom of the deck, we have the Amorist. Okay, so I'm going to read from the Oracle guidebook on this one for Resolve. The keywords they have are hope, resilience, commitment. And the message says, don't let them tell you all is lost. It's not. This card is about vision and the power of radical imagination. In what might feel like a difficult situation, it's your job to hold on to what's still possible. Can you cultivate hope and then commit to action? Get good on your values, then make a plan, make time, and make it happen. Don't give up hope here. And I feel like you had. I really do feel like you had. Like something was supposed to happen for you and it didn't happen the way you thought it was. And you have a deep inner knowing. You have your High Priestess here also in the mix beneath the moon. And this is a beautiful combination, saying like your heart is giving you all the answers, but it's up to you to make sure you don't let the mind have you surrender or cede to a feeling that all is lost, because it's not. The Armorist is joining here as a guide. It represents Pisces, and it represents the element of water, so emotions for sure. and things that are spiritual and creative and connected to anything hidden as well. I mean, Pisces rules the 12th house. The message from the book says, standing in the waters of a blooming fountain, the armorist is a fluid, pleasure-seeking type with a great passion for life. They are in tune with their own emotions and are sensitive to the feelings of others. The armorist is a relational creature and forms bonds easily. They value a deep connection to the world around them, though they sometimes struggle on their own. They can be easily hurt, but ultimately the armorist's biggest strength is their vulnerability, and perhaps that's what you don't want people to see, your soft side. And I think that human aspect of yourself coming through and being more on the outside is actually what this message is strongly about. Your inner determination and choosing to keep moving forward, even when it means facing your shadows, your old burdens, and your uncomfortable truths, is what is here to resolve or maintain your sense of resolve on. It definitely echoes the Eight of Cups advice, walking away, but making sure you do it with purpose and not avoidance. And then the hidden tendency is to kind of armor up and protect yourself from the heart and not show your vulnerability, and default to control kind of ties right into the Emperor reverse and that Queen of Pentacles reverse had clarifying earlier. So this card says that, you don't want to let your self-protection become self-sabotage. In fact, I think this can be the fuel that connects you with others and connects you further with yourself. The spread already pointed to shadow integration with despicable face and heart blooming on the Earth's heart, and deeper initiation with the blue temple. So resolve says you can handle this path, but you have to commit to it. And the armorist is warning you not to close yourself off behind walls when vulnerability and wholeness are exactly what will unlock this Ace of Wands and Ace of Cups energy. Okay, let's tap this out with an angel number oracle, and then we will leave it there. Please give me an angel number as the final message of this reading. 0909, new beginnings. Keep an eye out for an opportunity that could change everything. You are completing something significant, and it's rewarding to see yourself level up. It's time to close an old chapter and embrace the new adventure that's about to unfold. This is all about opportunity, courage, achievement, endings, new beginnings, adventure, and love. But you can't open to it if you're not willing to come full and even bring the parts of yourself that you feel like are shameful or taboo or just disgusting. Those parts, I think, actually will propel you on this new beginning and possibly open you to different forms of connection that you didn't think were possible before. Your happiness is really going to stem here from your self-expression and your growth and experiences. So definitely make sure you're viewing failures as steps to your deeper wisdom. That messiness that you're fearing, these are steps to help you become and grow into more who you really are. You may need to go back to the drawing board a few times and start over. You may need to just not know what or how to do something for like a long time. And the only way to get through it is to just start doing it. And then the answers will reveal themselves to you over time. If this message resonates with you too, maybe you've been feeling this calling, hearing that Jumanji drum and not sure what to do with it, or you've just been scared to start something, then claim it in the comments, because I think it's a really positive message overall if you can remove those blockages.